Yeah, look in the top left corner, Cody. If
I
you weren't
know.
late,
I can.
if you weren't late, you would catch on to these things.
I was the one. What? This is okay.
No, he brings up those are like facts that he's spitting over here.
Thank
Was
you,
I not
Josh.
here before? I was here before 9 o'clock.
Where are
It's
you
6 o'clock
though?
right now.
Who was on the
Yeah.
phone with Apple? Not I. Not I.
Uh,
Not
I
I.
mean, I'm guilty as charged on that one.
And
Guilty as charged.
who usually forgets what day we have podcasts?
Oh, page 100%.
Shit. I still
Yeah.
saw what day we podcast. I just forget what day it is. Like
Yeah,
Monday through
that's
Sunday. I'm like,
yeah,
oh
that
shit,
is
I
what
have a
it is.
tournament tomorrow. I
Josh and
should
I would
probably
be
warm
getting
up.
on here, and Paige is out on the course. He's like, "Oh, podcast night. My bad, y'all. See you
But
later."
it's never been I forgot that we have a podcast. It's been I
What
forgot
day
what
is
day
it?
it is. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know if that's worse. You're a functioning adult in society, and yet,
That just shows
yeah.
how stretched thin he is.
This
Josh, why
time
are
is a
you covering for
construct.
this man?
What do you mean?
Does time even really exist, or did
You're
you
you're
just
Right? A
put
making
construct.
numbers
you're
Time's a
and days
construct.
on randomly assigned
you're
moon
enabling him.
cycles?
You're enabling.
I'm not enabling.
You're
I
just giving
mean,
him excuses. Well, Paige is all he never forgets. He just works so hard.
I do. Out here working hard. Me, and
He
Dolly
works
Parton.
hard for the money.
All right. What is up, everyone? Welcome to yet another Jammers in the Rough. It is Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, and you're here with the musings of Paige,
No
the
YouTube
absolute
stream.
worst, Cody, and Mr. Out $1,400, Josh
Mm.
Winter.
Ugh, I know. Let me. I'm gonna check to see if the YouTube. Looks like Alex said it's not up. I'm gonna
Oh,
verify.
once
Is
again, Josh failing
see,
IT duties.
but you know what? I like how Alex Stone wrote his name in parentheses, so we know what Facebook user that is. It's very important to us that we know all Facebook users because they're all important to us, no matter what it says.
Well,
Facebook
and
user, we love you all.
Facebook user saying hi to Mike on here, and
Hey,
I,
Mike,
d-
which
I don't think
Mike?
I don't think there's Mike in here. There's just Cody, Paige, and
Yeah.
Josh.
No,
Mm.
we're definitely live. We're
You know
definitely
what?
live on
You know
YouTube.
what? I got you. I got you, Facebook user. Wait a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, CH Sports
No,
has
I
us
got you.
live.
I
All
got you.
right. Well,
Mike. I'm Mike now. So, hey, Mike, what's up?
there we go.
I'll be Mike tonight.
Well, you're mic'd up.
Dude,
Oh, that's terrible.
I had one of
That was
those like
terrible.
the questions that we were like talking about a few days ago, and one of them I wanted to get your guys' opinion on the which one was it? Oh yeah, if you could name a disc, like it's your pro disc, but it's like you know
Like a
it's
cloud
nice,
breaker,
right?
or
Yeah. What would you call your disc?
I mean, a jammer. I feel like a jammer for me, or a Doty. One of those
Doty.
two.
I think the Doty would
Yeah, the
definitely fall
Doty.
into
Cody's Doty. You know,
Cody's
just
yeah,
slinging
Doty.
it. Cody's just slinging his Doty around. Mm.
yeah, just Mike's Doty.
That's true. Mike.
It's Mike's Doty.
Mike's magic Doty. Magic
I don't
Mike's
know.
Doty.
I don't know what I'd name my disc. I also don't know what it would be. I used to be so like set with like what I would want, like kind of slot.
Would it have been
Like,
an FD slot? I feel like you would have been like
no,
an
it would be a
FD
CD2
CD2.
slot. It would be a
Mhm.
CD2
CD2?
slot, and it probably still would be like that's kind of my go-to. Like once I found that Domi construct, that was my CD2 replacement. Um, so that or like a FD3. What is Let me see. What's his name? Be
Have you
horror.
tried this Flex One FD3 yet?
No, I saw somebody like somebody posted a video of them bending it. That's nuts. I believe is it Flex One or Flex
Flex
3?
One.
Flex
Flex
One.
One. I
Yeah,
had a
that's what.
local guy got he bought 2 boxes. He got 2 Glow P3Xs, so he might give me one to try. And then he got the Flex One MD5 and the Flex One FD3.
Okay, yeah, that Tactic's supposed to be a Flex One as well, which is interesting.
Did you? I'm surprised you haven't got one yet. Who's gonna
Well,
send you one?
because I did not see anywhere that said that they're gonna split the stones in 2 different boxes. I think the black box is getting the second set, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so it's like 7
Oh,
here and then 7 in the next. And
Yeah,
that
or
but
is
I
it?
didn't know that.
Isn't there 15 or something? Is there 15
Yeah,
total?
I think 15, including the cloud stone, which I think is in
Mm.
both, where you can buy
Which should
both.
probably be a DD3. I feel like a Cloudstone is a DD3. No,
Ooh,
maybe.
Alex made it to YouTube. Awesome. What's up, brother?
Look at Josh acknowledging chat and ignoring his co-host.
Yeah,
But
no.
I'm
to
I
answer
not-
answered
your
the
original question, so I think if I was to name any disc, the first thing that came to my head was Gumby. So
Gumby.
I think a Gumby would be a great name for a CD2 slot disc, and then
That is
Pokey
stupid.
would be enough for FD3.
That is stupid.
How's that stupid? Do you not?
Gu-
Do you know what
the
Gumby,
Gumby? What? Yes, I knew who Gumby is. I'm older than you, dude.
is?
Gumby. My
This would
gosh.
be perfect. It's what popped
No.
into my head. You fucking
Like,
blindsided
it
me with
makes
this
me think of
question.
a Gum-
What do you want me
but
to be? Fucking the Wind
Easy.
Whisperer. Where's Colin at?
No, but what?
We'll call Colin out tonight.
But would your disc be gummy?
No, Gumby.
I
Not
understand, but
gummy.
Gumby was gummy, and it also
Yeah,
makes you
but
think of the
you
gum
shape-
putt.
He also like shaped through the wood, so you're shaping these shots with a disc. That's why it was a
Stretching.
CD2.
You're stretching real thin right here, buddy. You're
No.
really like,
Which
pulling
is
strings.
what Gumby does.
Oh
He
my
stretches real thin.
gosh. What were the bad twins in that called?
I can't remember. That's why I'm looking them up. It's been a while.
All right, Gumby characters. I mean, you could make a whole line of them. Gumby.
Yeah, because then you get Pokey, which is the like overstable disc.
I mean,
The
then it would be the
blockhead.
Howdy, because it was on the Howdy Doody series. You could be the Howdy Doody. The original work was the Gumbasia, like a Fantasia, but with Gumby. That is
Ooh,
wild.
the Gumbasia. That'd be a good name.
Mm.
That'd be my disc. The Gumbasia.
That's for the Asian market. Oh, the Gumbasia.
the Gumbasia.
Oh, it's made by Yukon. I guarantee it.
I don't know. Yukon's accepted ambassador slots. I might apply to Yukon discs. I like the glazed plastic.
Dude, Gumby was trippy.
The
Did you
show
guys-
Gumby?
Yeah.
I mean, there was
It
some
was really
weird stuff in
trippy.
there. And then did you ever see like it was claymation also, like Mark Twain's Excellent Adventure in claymation?
I don't think so. No.
If you don't know, if you want a good time, like especially if you're feeling it, it's pretty trippy. Let me see, Mark Twain claymation. It's wild. The Adventures of Mark Twain, 1985 claymation. It's on YouTube for free. It'll blow your mind.
Share your screen.
Okay.
Tonight we watch Mark Twain.
Our whole podcast, we're just watching Mark Twain.
If you
I don't
guys
know
have
how-
liked and subscribed to CH Sports, hop over to the search bar and watch Mark Twain.
The
in
Adventures of Mark
claymation.
Twain, full claymation sci-fi adventure. I'm telling you, it will keep you up
Sci-fi
at night.
adventure.
Oh yeah, it'll keep you up at night, buddy.
All right.
Let me see if there's some weird stuff in here. Let's see if I can find it. Y'all just keep talking about your Gumby putts.
I'm kind of curious to see what Josh would name his disc now.
But see, I think I'd pick like
Your
an
nose?
overstable approach. Overstable approach disc.
And be like the tactic.
No.
Because you're gonna
no,
be tactical with it.
No, the tactical. Yeah, it's just all camouflage. It's one
all
giant foil, just a full foil folded over it, just a camouflage foil.
Then the first ever chameleon plastic. When you throw it, it just blends in.
Oh,
the
what
background.
plastic would you get?
What plastic?
I mean, well, page 2. I didn't even name my Discord plastic. I just named the name.
I mean, if I could have any plastic in this disc, I would. This is my unbiased. It might sound biased, but it's very unbiased. Is the Nebula Aura that Thought Space has? I love that plastic more than any of the other ones. It flies the best for me. It feels so good.
What a good
Yeah.
sponsored athlete.
What a good.
I would
I'm
use
unbiased.
the
I know. It's so hard
Nebula
because
Aura plastic.
shitty
It is the
part
great
is when-
plastic ever.
I
no,
would,
it's a bad part about having a sponsor of a company that you love so much. Like I just love their disc
oh
prior to
my
being sponsored by them.
gosh.
And so when I want to
You're just
talk,
like
if
full
I want
Tom
to talk about how much
Cruise.
I like something,
I love these discs. I love these
know.
discs.
it just comes off like you're just trying to, you're promoting, which you should, but I'm doing it out of the kindness of my own heart.
I would pick like a mid-range, like a reactor type mold.
Reactor.
Slightly overstable, because I play a lot of woods golf. I would pick something that's glow and somewhat flexible, like kind of like Z-Flex-ish. I love that plastic. I love it.
See, I'm a simple like 2015 to 2018. Choose your year. Innova base color glow. That's kind of where I'm always a sucker for. And if I'm gonna
Color
go with
glow is
CD2
good.
mold, like I would love that. Like the fact that they're finally coming out with color glow P3X, it's a disappointment where it's like, oh, you could have done this with good plastic, or CD2s for that example as well. They've just been like, man, can you imagine like the color or the glow CD2s are great, but the color glow CD2s would have been amazing.
Oh my gosh. How do I share my screen? What? Hit share? Look, dude, look at this. I understand. Let's proceed. Look at this. That
I'm
is,
looking.
look at that. That is
can't
on the
see
Mark.
anything.
What?
You're not sharing anything.
Oh,
It's-
no, he
Look
is.
at that. Dude, that
Okay.
is that is the Adventures of Mark Twain. That is part of it. And this is a kids movie. Now, granted, I love Christmas movies. And if you can name another movie by this director, I will send you a free disc.
Oof.
I'm just telling you. It's same type of might get rid of that, but I gotta stop sharing. But I'm telling you, that thing will haunt your dreams.
It looks like it'll haunt your dreams.
Dude, kids in the 80s, we were born different, baby. We love it.
Have you seen the new SpongeBob where it's all like it looks 3D fancy, like it
No, I don't
lost
want
like
that.
90. It's lost this 90 cartoon look to it. My son was watching it. I'm like, what is happening? What is happening?
Wait a second. New SpongeBob?
Yeah, it's out there, man.
Oh
But
shit! Emmett Keeson's in the chat.
Oh, Emmett. Yo. New
Especially
SpongeBob.
the new 1,000 rated pro in Oregon, trying to make
Heck
it seem
yeah.
for himself.
Oregon. What?
Yeah, Oregon. Emmett's out here blasting Firebirds 450.
what?
Yeah, he's
450 on a like.
he's an animal.
That's like, remember Gavin Rathbun came on here and he's like, yeah, my first disc was a Firebird and I could throw about 420. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. No, that's just a different type of
Human.
animal. Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
the
the
thing
video-
that's scary. Like, I can get it with Emmett because he has like crazy distance, but then like Dallas will step up and he'll throw like a Firebird like 420, 430, and it's just like that's not. You don't have the distance. Like you tap out at 430, your FP3s go the same distance as your boss. Like it's wild.
He's throwing a boss?
Oh yeah, he's
Mm.
crushing a boss. He's making him look flippy. Like he gets mad at the bosses because they're too flippy for him. The Halo bosses. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, we got him that. What was it? That Cloudbreaker
Cloudbreaker?
2? That
Yeah.
150 gram Cloudbreaker 2.
He
I think he
lost
just
literally the first throw. I have it recorded. He lost it on the first throw. He spent an hour looking for it. He's in tears because he lost it on his first throw, and he got pretty worked up.
Yeah, I just
Well, we
remember
can't
when
have
I
nice
saw him probably after the first or second round of that tournament, and like, hey, how's that disc flying for you? The look he gave me was so good. Like, how do I say this?
It's lost.
He just started crying. Josh is just out there making young boys cry.
Yeah, but that's
What can I
Dallas.
say?
Like, he's gonna miss a 60-footer and he's gonna cry, and he'll be like 17 strokes like ahead of you.
Yeah, that boy's a beast, man. It's crazy.
He's 16 now. He's a young man.
Mm.
I'm
He's a
sorry,
young
that
man.
young man.
He's washed up. He's washed up in disc golf. He's too
Yeah,
old
dude,
for.
at 16. He's
We
done.
talk about Dallas too much on here. Let's not talk about Dallas. We already give that guy too much publicity.
Let's kick
Let's
him
use
out.
this- We're supposed to be talking about Emmett and how he just crushes.
I don't
like,
know who Emmett is. I see him on here.
You don't
so
know anybody because you don't.
Why
bring
would I
anybody
know?
to the podcast,
Why would I know?
Cody?
Why would I know local disc golfers from Oregon? I'm in Maryland.
Because we've talked about our podcast.
You have
and how
definitely
much we
not
love
talked
it,
about Emmett.
which brings
Nope.
in fans, and then
Nope.
we engage those fans because we get to know them.
Emmett,
The fact that
I'm
we have
glad
no
you're
one
here.
from Maryland
Paige
here
is
shows
asking.
that you don't contribute to
no.
this podcast, Cody.
Paige is acting like he talks about you every day. Never heard your name, brother.
Oh, I
You
love
just
it.
need to travel, get cultured, meet Emmett.
Be a man of culture.
All right, Emmett, I would love to meet you. I would love to meet you.
Yeah, let's get you on the
Let's meet.
podcast.
Let's
Emmett.
meet like Midwest somewhere. I'm coming from Maryland. You're coming from Oregon.
Yeah,
What
right.
are we
We're
talking
flying
about,
you out for Jam and Jellyfish next year.
I will caddy, or I'll play. Next time do it in summer, not push it back to like the first week of school when I got to teach.
Oh man.
That wasn't Paige's fault though.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my
fucking
gosh, Josh!
PPE.
If you could defend this man anymore, goodness gracious!
I'm not. I would defend you if you were right.
No,
Yeah,
you wouldn't.
I'm
You're
a
always
man
wrong.
without fault.
In the feedback pages, you roast me.
I'm a man without fault. Josh builds me up. He puts me on that pedestal. Pedestal
Oh,
Page.
Look at that.
Pedestal
Even Emmett,
Page.
I wish I could putt like Paige though.
Ha. I'm kind of known for something. My putting sucks, but
He's so
sometimes it's
humble.
good. But
I got a question for you guys on a little list here. So with Christmas around the corner,
Ooh.
like as someone like we all buy our own disc equipment, we all buy our own discs. But what is something like you don't have that you think would be a good gift for a disc golfer, or you do have?
Are you saying that we want ourselves or that we
Sure,
would buy for someone?
both.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think little things like because I have a lot of discs, sometimes that encourages people to want to buy me discs. I probably have what
Mhm.
I need, which is a tough thing shopping for a disc golfer. What I really like is like, sweatshirts. We go
Sweatshirts.
through so much sweatshirts on the course. Yeah, just fucking uh Corey Begay, Corey Begay.
Is he another
Um,
Oregon guy? I don't know.
no, he's from Arizona, where Alex Stone is Flagstaff. Like I said, I pay attention to our fans.
Oh
Come
my
on, I reach out,
gosh.
I network, Cody.
And you barely respond to my PMs. That's great.
Yeah, that's because you're just the
I'm not a
worst.
fan.
Anyways, we're getting us off topic. So I would like something like that, right? Like, get me some sweaters, get me some sweats, shorts, get me socks, get me Vivos,
I already did. I did.
stuff. Yeah, no, exactly. Stuff that you don't think about like a disc golfer really needing. Get that for them. Like hand warmers. Hand warmers go like they're like gold out there. Whether they're reusable or the reusable ones or they're the disposable ones. I don't think you can ever have enough hand warmers during the season. That's
I
me.
would I would want yeah, I don't need more disc. I mean, if someone gave me one that would be great, but I would want something like personal or something small, like maybe if they made me a mini or gave me something that I could like keep in my like I had a buddy who knows I love Seinfeld, and I mean he just gave me a
Mhm.
pin. So I mean I thought that was the coolest thing in the world because it was something that he knew
Mhm.
I personally liked. So yeah, something like that. I don't need more disc. Something like if someone saw like a cool stamp, it was like, "Hey, I thought of you." That's what I would like when someone's putting the effort into it to get you something, not just like, "Hey, here's a DX putter." I'll be
Okay.
thankful, but yeah, I like that personal touch.
Huh.
What
Yeah. I
about
mean,
you,
I would.
Josh?
I mean, like I would always take D-line FDs from the end of molded ones. Always gift ideas. But I mean, for me,
Gotta.
I use so many towels. But like a lot of the towels you get in like the AM players pack are like
The trash ones.
I don't know, they don't absorb. You know, there's good towels for good prices. I mean, Flight Towel, they're solid. Then there's the Goat
Another
Towel.
Oregon company. Now that we're
Another,
shutting Oregon disc golfers out.
yeah, yeah, Oregon. That's another Oregon company. But
Great.
yeah, they have absorbent towels. Goat Towel is the goat for a
All
reason.
right. Speaking of goat towel, Jerry Ann was supposed to send me a goat towel when she was on here. Never happened, Jerry.
Yeah. Maybe because you didn't get to know her well enough.
I
Because you
sent
don't
her a
care about our
disc.
people.
I do. She lives in Canada. That's a different country. Not my problem.
Well, she
Looks
keeps
like
forgetting we're on Tuesdays too, so
She
probably won't
probably
see this
doesn't
till
know that.
Thursday.
She's probably on Canadian time.
let's see a good jacket you can throw in. Patagonia has some nice lightweight but warm jackets. Hold up well.
Oh,
I think vests
Yeah.
vests aren't explored enough too in disc golf, especially for
Hmm.
some of these like I'll throw my North Face vest on, and if you can get me one of those,
oh, it
Yeah.
has to be North Face. Now, I would say, have you seen they make jackets now that you can like fold up into like a tiny, like I'm talking like this size container, like you can fold them up. That'd be good to keep in your bag, like if you had a round that suddenly got wet. I think that'd be very useful and something that would be a nice, thoughtful gift.
I will say like one of the gifts like I thought was cool. It wasn't for me. It's a buddy. His name's Justin Pieper. He's down in Southern California, but his
People.
partner reached out to me and was like, "Hey, Paige, you're friends with this guy. He talks about you all the time. Do you know what disc he likes?" And so, I was like, "What's your budget? Let's get you something nice." And so I was able to ship her some discs for him. So then he was actually getting discs that he wanted. I just think that's cool. Like, ask your ask your partner who they're messaging around discs and see if they know him pretty well. Because if somebody's asked me like, "Oh, Paige, who would you recommend to get you a disc from?" I'll have like a list of like 3 or 5 names. Like, "Oh, hit up John Cora. He knows what I like," or hit up Cody Waldron. He'll definitely screw you over. But like,
Make us, yeah, that's me.
yeah, I mean, you're getting blasted on those buyer feedback page daily.
That is true. I don't think I have any good feedback. It's
I'm
terrible.
getting tired of seeing all the fucking positive feedback.
Yeah, it's pretty it's pretty
It's
but
like,
the
who
thing
do
is,
you pay? Like, oh, there's I
inside the
got
positive,
Snowbod, and then I got Codied. So that's your spectrum of the whole buyer feedback.
but inside the positive feedback is a whole bunch of shit talking. So I don't know what to believe anymore. It's like
Usually
50-50.
my positive feedback starts with like a random person like, hey, it was nice working with Cody. And then everyone jumps in and is like, who is this guy? Fake account. He's terrible. and then the original poster's like, is this the right person? Did I get scammed? You never know.
This is
You
his
never know.
profile.
Yeah. That was today. Is this his
That
profile?
was today's.
But those jackets that have been around for a very long time, Cody, but the ones that you can scrunch up really small.
Yes, I know. I remember them from like when I was younger, but I think they've made quite the advancement in like
They-
technology and comfort. Like it used to be like the ones that you folded up were like the cheap ponchos that you bought at like the dollar store.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
for
I'm gonna
sure.
fold it up. I'm like, oh, this is a trash
But like
bag.
the problem with those ones though is that like the thorns, sticker bushes, they eat them up so fast.
This one says it holds up well to pickers
Well,
and thorns.
This one, yeah, the one that
But maybe that folds up. It says nice, lightweight, but warm. Maybe that one holds up well.
yeah, but I end up getting like a lightweight hoodie, like the lightest weight hoodies. Those work really well because I'm moving a lot, I'm heating up. Like all I want is like the breeze off of me.
That's a tough thing with the like, disc golfer coats. That's why like I recommend a vest. Because like at first you're gonna need it, right? The first like 3 holes you'll be freezing your ass off. But after that, then you're sweating your ass off, and then that sweat gets cold, and then you're freezing your ass. It goes back and forth. Like finding
long
that right
sleeve
jacket.
shirt.
Yeah, I usually go long sleeve shirt and a rain jacket, and then I'll take the rain jacket off if it starts to dry up, and then I'm perfect.
So like every day I teach, so I every day to work, no matter what the weather, I wear shorts and a t-shirt, but it's all about layers. So I always have windbreaker pants because I have to stand outside for half an hour from like 7 to 7:30, help kids get out of cars. So I always wear shorts, t-shirt, long sleeve shirt, usually a sweatshirt, and sometimes like a rain jacket if it's wet. So it's all about layers. So I think disc golf's the same. I don't want to wear a ton of layers because I feel like if I do, I just feel bulky. But
that's a tough thing too. Like it's all about layers, but with disc golf, for example,
where do you
your
put
bags don't necessarily always have space for layers. Like I'm going to a Rufus, so if I take off my layer, then I'm going to limit my space for like water bottles, for example, because then you have to like pull your coat out, take your water bottle out, drink it, put that back in, put it, zip it. Like,
did you get the double convertible?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the one thing I do miss a little bit. Like I guess I put the drink pockets on both sides and just use it to like hold keys and snacks. But I do feel like I am missing some of that extra space. I do. Have you seen the new custom Carlton? I wish they put that putter pocket right here. Have you seen that? They added that.
Yeah, I don't know if it fit on the Rufus though.
Because I even said like it would be tough to pull your disc out. So
you know what you can do? Just get a touch. The touch.
You gave me a touch, actually. But how do you fit it on a Rufus? I feel like gets in. I feel like it's in the way of things.
Oh, it's always gonna be in the way. You got to flip it up. It's like the emo kids from the 2000s where they flip their hair. You just got to flip your your touch.
Oh my gosh, emo kids! Wait, Cody got another Rufus. Who is that? Facebook user, show yourself.
Show yourself.
Show yourself, Chad. No.
Let's see.
Cody.
Ah!
Okay, I got another question for you guys. So if you know how there's like reality shows for pretty much everything nowadays, cooking, singing, blah blah blah. If they made a reality challenge show, but it's based on disc golf, like how do you think? What's a good idea? Like how do you think that would go down? A disc golf reality show.
Random
disc golf is not the focus. The car rides are the focus. Put
the car rides.
Put like
Jerry Seinfeld. Oh my god!
Put 3 people in the car and 14-hour drives. What comes up to them? The conversations that pop up, the arguments that pop up.
But that's not just disc golf. That would be called like riding in cars with strangers or something. Like I feel like that would be.
Yeah, but then you gotta have a disc golf because you're going to a disc golf tournament. Disc golf tournament happens, but that's not the focus. You come out, and then you have the dynamic of, hey, you got third. You didn't cash. Boom, another car
And
ride.
so for 14 hours, you got to talk about that. Wow.
Yeah,
That's
because you
compelling.
hear different
Sign me up.
perspectives. Like, this course is so fucking dumb. And then you get the guy that got third. He's like, no, this is the best course ever. Why wouldn't you want to play this every weekend? You're just
Couldn't
fucking
you talk
trash.
about
Get
that
good.
like on the course? I feel like you would be like, I would want like challenges, like kind of like how they used to do like Nickelodeon challenges and stuff like that. I would want like you have to pick 3 discs, or your partner gets to pick you 3 discs, or you have to do a random
Blazer blasting discs.
Yeah, just
American
like here,
Gladiator
give me
style at people.
dude, Blazer, Taser, Phaser. American Gladiator is awesome. I'm telling you, bring it back.
Yeah, I mean that's
I would want challenges. Josh,
challenge. Yeah, like I was thinking of one, like something like you can call it like the Ace Race, and it's like a bunch of people.
Race, like
the Ace
Space
Race.
race.
Yeah,
Space
but
race,
it's
yeah,
Ace Race.
not MVP.
But say like it
Sponsored by
starts out.
TSA, though.
Starts out starts out with like 30 contestants, and every challenge is like one basket, however long away it is, and they design like a crazy man-made hole, like giant T-Rexes. There's defense. Somebody can
You
be down there trying
die.
to deflect it. Put some defense in it, and it's just whoever aces first, wins that challenge.
See, what about
Now-
though? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like me and my buddies, sometimes when we were playing casual, we always joke about like, what if we had the ultimate disc golf league where it was like you could have a defender that had to be 5 feet from the basket, and you kind of like Rip Revenge, like you would play a card like you can defend the basket with only your feet or something like that
Yeah.
from 5 feet away. That would be fun. Like you're allowed to clap or do something or like stand in front of them before they throw. That would be cool.
So
Man-made T-Rex, that's something different.
I would like
Yeah.
to see like an open bag sponsor. Let's say Drew Gibson, because he's sponsored by Infinite. But the whole like loves like reality series where they would like, oh, here, this is a rose for you. You stay, you're going, like that kind of challenge. But you do it with discs. So he has his bag, but he's trying to narrow it down from all of the brands.
And have
the
a brand
season.
ambassador come and be like, Drew, I think you would really like the West Side Stag. And
Yeah, so you have like
take him
these
out to
guys pitching
dinner
him
and
these
like,
discs,
yeah.
and he goes through challenges, he goes through pro tours, he goes through all of these things to narrow it down. Where it's like, hey, this week right now, the Ronin is absolutely amazing. We're gonna go this, but the FD is we got to say bye.
Instead
And
of
he
giving
just narrows
roses,
it.
he gives like minis. He's like, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I don't have a mini for you.
Or little baskets.
And, like,
You
people
give them
are
little
crying.
baskets because discs need baskets.
All
So
right.
that's my other pitch.
Joe Mez. I hope Joe Mez is listening. Let's work this out. Come on. They do those putting challenges. I mean, what is it? Love is Blind? No, what would the name be?
I love New York.
Mm.
I love this disc.
No, I need something. Where's
Flavors
the chat?
of discs.
No, I don't want to taste a disc. I mean, I think Dynamic Disc does make a chocolate disc, though.
They
Who
do.
did?
It's a judge.
No, they still do. No, it's a truth, I thought.
Oh,
It
it could
was
be
a
a
truth.
it could be a truth.
Because I saw one time somebody threw it, and it actually held up decent. I mean, it still exploded, but
Like more
They
than you
threw it.
expected, though.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty good.
But we had one comment: Road Rules, amazing race with disc golf. Race to the course, lose discs from bag for being late or later in order. Challenges mid courses. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Well, see, who is this? Put your name there, people. I want to know who this is.
It's
That's
Facebook user.
fantastic. That's
That was mine.
fantastic.
Disking around. That's a good name for it.
Disking around.
Yeah. That's a
Too
good
many
one.
discs on the dance floor.
Too many
Floppy disk, hard disk. They're all good.
But no, I think a reality show would be cool. I just figure like, so I was actually talking to a buddy about this the other day. The tough thing with like the putting challenge and everything, or no, the All-Star Weekend, it's tough to make disc golf exciting outside of like the competition and the sports when they're not like really playing for stakes. Like the All-Star Weekend, I think fails because like they're trying to make disc golf exciting when sometimes it's just not. I don't want to sit like and be like, all right, putting practice, guys. How many like 15 footers can you putt? That's not exciting to me. So I think this little bit of reality twist where it's like, hey, you made All-Star Weekend. Let's put you into a house and just like fuck with you all and see what comes from it.
I like how everything's just, we're going to put you together and see what happens.
Yeah,
Not disc
that's
golf
reality.
related.
That's reality shows, right?
It's
not
true.
that-
It
this
is true.
I guess this is 2000s reality. This isn't the like Forged in Fire, the competition.
And it's gonna be like there's gonna be that night vision camera. It's gonna be like two people whispering, like, "Hey, tomorrow, I'm gonna stand behind you when you're putt. I'm gonna whisper. No, don't talk about them like that."
Right, exactly.
And then all of a
Or
sudden they're
we
naked.
could go like the whole like chopped style where you get like $4 or $5
A
million
mystery disc. That's what I was saying. A mystery ingredient. That's
That
what
wasn't a
chopped would be like.
I'm
No,
talking
like,
about.
hey, you got
Well,
to play
then what
with
is it?
this.
Forge and Fire, where you gotta design from
Yeah.
like mold. You got to design your own mold, the flight characteristics, and
Oh, with
present a
3D
disc.
printing, that is possible. Like if you said, "Hey, you got 2 hours to design and 3D print a disc," something like that. That'd be kind of
Exactly.
cool.
It has
But
to
it
meet
also-
these parameters, right? It has to go 300 feet. It has to have an overstable finish.
Well, no,
it has
no.
to have
I would just say it has to. Which one flies the best?
no,
Or
because
for this,
like how do you justify what flies the best?
But you could do.
A
But I'm
bird
saying
goes
every
200
week.
feet.
If you throw one that looks like a paper plate and it goes, but like, what if it throws 290 feet? It's like,
I just
"Oh,
like putting
sorry."
parameters around it because like, hey, you got 2 hours, design a flippy disc and see what they do.
Well, okay, so you could do that and say like this week we're doing a flippy fairway.
Yeah,
You
because then you're
know.
rotating it, right? You got
And then you could also have like judges who are like designers of real disc and be like, hey, this, and maybe that actually gets turned into a real disc, like the champion of the whole series.
oh, there you go.
Jomez, where are you at?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of thought of another good one it's like a competition of disc golf dyers. Like you're given a theme and
Kinda
or
like
some
inked.
parameters. What? Yeah, kind of like that.
Like
but
inked.
but with
you
disc
see
golf
your
dyers.
disc saturation here kind of
Yeah.
fell through, and because of this, we're gonna have to send you home.
Yeah.
And
These judges
Jory's,
don't know anything.
yeah.
Blue and yellow makes green.
I've been dyeing disc for 15 years, man.
I'm an artist. They got me out here dyeing discs. I'm classically trained.
Dude, it's so cool when you're like scrolling through Facebook when you belong to the disc golf dyers, like that big page of them, and then all of a sudden somebody posts one they've been working on for like many hours. It's like blows my mind what some of these dyers can do.
Or when
It's
they
cool.
cut out those stencils and have to like use that little scalpel
weeder?
to pretty much pick them out. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. That's the ones I'm like, all right, that is probably worth $70. Some of the ones are like, hey, I dyed my disc, it's $57. I'm like,
Oof.
Forged in plastic. There
I like that one. That's a good.
forged in plastic. Facebook, who is it?
That's solid.
Can't even give him credit. Facebook user, good for you.
Well, when you can't tell who it is, everyone's a winner.
But everyone also loses.
It's true. High risk, high reward.
High risk, high reward. Yo, listen to this. It's beautiful.
But I think we got like some solid shows to pitch Jomez for sure.
Anyone know Jomez?
Well, it's not really Jomez anymore. I'd be pitching the Disc Golf Network.
Nate Heinold, who knows him? Old Market Talk.
Old market. I want to talk about the old market. 2018
Someone doesn't like our ideas.
What is this? What I know for?
Hey,
Did
we
we just
got
get scammed?
$1.99 from.
Yo,
We got Colton here to say and love the podcast.
I have never seen that before, and that's fantastic. Colton,
blast that shit, Josh.
Oh my gosh,
we got a blue box, a blue bubble.
What is a blue box?
We got a tip.
You get tipped? We can get tipped?
Apparently.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh
Colin, don't take my $2. We got to split
Colin's
ways.
gonna be like, listen, y'all get a nickel, and I'm keeping $1.50.
Well, we want our cut.
Well, let's give let's talk. I mean, I think we're all here before the.
What does Colton want to talk about? I mean, he's tipping.
Colton,
he's tipping.
We got a tip, guys. Shut the podcast down. Colton.
Do I gotta like, lift my shirt up? What's happening here? What's happening?
Yeah, we're gonna change the name. We're gonna change the name.
No, I don't have to do this. Okay, I can keep my clothes.
Let's see. I mean, I see that somebody talking about old market talk. I think that's like a whole episode. I think you can do like a whole.
We're trying to come up with ideas for shows so we don't have to work no more.
Especially, let's get the old market topic up, please.
Didn't we talk about market last?
No, we talked
I mean,
about
I did like
market.
it. I did like that.
We did current market, but old market like 2019 into 21
before COVID, right? Like before the COVID boom is really where it is. So like
stimulus money.
But that was the rise, though. COVID was the rise.
That's what I'm
Like
saying. Like,
that,
so like
yeah.
the old markets before it, and that's where like I like to talk about too, because I do remember like you used to like one of my things was I'd go into my brick and mortar, they'd have a stack of CD2s that was just sitting there, and I would never have to worry about like stocking up, right? Like now I like this Voss, so it's like I want to go buy 10 and keep them on my shelves, but I used to be able to go into the store and just be like, oh, I want to load Hell 1. I lost my Cloudbreaker, and be able to grab them. Which was kind of like Cloudbreakers was the first time I remember the difference of stability in the run. So I had like the second run that was just a complete flippy, like bomber, and then I would lost it and went back and it was like, oh wait, this is a freaking hog. For me, anyways, that's one of my first experiences with that. But the online market was, I don't know, that was you can buy a claw for $30 and then sell it for 25 or 30, get your money back. But you can do insert your post and you would have your choice. I remember saying no to like a lot of MD3s where I was like, no, that's a little too beat in for $30 for me to want to throw it.
Yeah, I
But
remember
I don't know.
one of the major discs that I collected. It's kind of later on though. It was the Echo DD3 because
Yep.
nobody really knew what they were. And then I was talking with like Chad was talking to me and he was telling me it's like, hey man, this disc, it's solid and I think it's going to be a good one. So he convinced me and I started buying them up and all of a sudden that disc turned into a pretty valuable disc pretty like very quickly
That
to
was
those
the
Echo DD3s.
I would say that was the fun thing about collecting because you never knew what was going to hit it big. Sometimes
Yeah.
you just had that little niche, and it happened years later. Like Lone Hell 1, nobody liked, and then I always say this, right? Alex Stone and his buddies bought it all up, and then all of a sudden it went from a $20
Wasn't
or
it Alex
$30.
Hart? Alex
Yeah,
Hart went crazy on those
yeah,
things.
where it went from like a $20-$30 disc that you couldn't sell to just absolutely $100 disc. Because I remember for me, the first time I ever like went into a store where I was telling you there was a stack of the CD2s and Lone Hells and everything, I was like, oh, the market's booming. There's these like 4 or 5 Lone Hells sitting right here. I was like, let me go try to flip this for an extra $10. I ended up losing $10 on it.
That's what you get. That's
Yeah,
what you get.
but
I
you
I
would find
like
those gems like Echo DD3 that just were
the
Yeah.
Echo
magical.
And nobody knew it was
DD3 and
going to
like
happen and then it
the
just
Color
did.
Glow DD3. That was another one that nobody thought was going to be big. It was like, oh, Color
That
Glow,
was
or like the P3X from the mystery box. Mystery boxes used to be like you bought them and you enjoyed them, not like worried about flipping them.
yeah, nobody like
Yeah.
even though like the Glow FDs, right? Like the mystery box FDs, the Color Glow ones, people were excited for them, but when you had that surplus, it's kind of like now, right? The time lapse gets released, people buy them, but they're still on like shelves. So if you're just trying to something new, you don't have to get 3 or 4 or 5 of them. You can just kind of have your fun with them, and you'll find your little niches. But also, I think before the COVID boom was really the last time plastic was like I think really good. You had the Innova Swirly, you had even some of those Discraft where ESP was still like ESP. I know I always like because I'm Innova based, I always talk Innova and Discmania,
Yeah.
but you had like some of these like actually durable plastics, and then COVID hit and your plastic turned. So like you could have, like I think before COVID, you can have like a 15-10-year-old disc in your bag that was still holding up and was amazing. Now I'm like, oh hey, I love this disc after like 6 months, and now it's too flippy and it's broke. So I mean, that was the other thing too. Why I think a lot of discs sat in shelves because the plastic just lasted longer.
Yeah. That's that's true. That's some good points right there.
But
Not
totally
that it,
different fan base too. Like you now, I mean, stuff set on shelves because people used to think of disc golf as like, that's what like my stoner buddies play, like some old heads out on the course.
Mhm.
But then COVID was good in the fact, like the COVID market was good in the fact that it popularized the sport. So it became more mainstream, which got more money into the sport. At the same time, it brought in a lot of people that were just looking to make quick money and didn't enjoy playing or care about the sport. So it's a catch 22 at that point.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
and
that's
that's why
another
we're
thing.
talking about before COVID.
Yeah. Kind of
Old
what made
old
it
old market.
the old market. What made it nice though is when you didn't know a disc was going to be popular, but then you started collecting it, it became popular because things weren't being produced as much as they were after COVID. There's less of them to go find. Like they become a lot rarer just because the hype wasn't there yet. Which is kind of a cool part about it because it shows rarity. Where
Well,
like
and I also will
nowadays
say, like, I think
there's
the
not
cool
really
thing
rare.
about I think the cool thing about some of that stuff though too was because the manufacturers weren't selling out, you'd find these pockets, right? Like the 2015 Sexton Firebird, $3,000 disc at this peak, if not a little bit more for some of the stamps. Even now, it's like $1,000 to $2,000 disc. But what people forget is like they didn't sell it out, so they had these blanks that they got tournament stamped. So there's this like little niche collecting run of
I
2015
got one
Sexton
from
birds.
you.
Yeah,
It says Young Life on it.
yep, you got
You
a Young
got it.
Life one for me. I remember
Yeah.
that. I got it from it was I paid $10 for it on a used bin shelf or whatever it was, like 10,
Yeah.
$20. But it's a 2015 Sexton Firebird with a tournament stamp. I have a buddy that likes those, and so it's like that was the other cool thing about it. So it's like you didn't have to buy the sexy bird. You could be like, okay, cool. Here's this Young Life tournament stamp disc that just happens to be a sexy bird with this like best color glow plastic on the market, and then you're throwing it. And how many people don't even know what that it is? That's when like tournament discs actually could be good discs, um, and just like be caught off guard.
We got a green one.
Wait, green?
Colton's over here. What does it
Oh
say
my
now?
gosh.
See, 4.99. No, I'm relatively new to collecting. I wish I used to play back when these discs were cheaper and used to be more replaceable and available. I mean, for the older ones that I feel fly better, yeah, that's the crummy part of starting now collecting. Because we
Well, this is
started
a
collecting it's like Iron Samurais. It's gonna be
But at
hard.
the same time, Iron Samurai, the market has dipped again, where some of these things are becoming easier to obtain because people are getting out or people are realizing I don't want to be stuck here with 1,000 discs that I'm trying to flip. Like here, also an Iron Samurai. I saw an Iron Samurai for sale for under $40, which would be unheard of a couple years ago.
yeah.
But
Right now,
prior, like old market, that was normal. Like claws were. I remember. I think it was Paige shared a picture of like someone like, oh, I got all these rainbow claws, $24.99, and like nobody wanted them.
yep. That's where like I talk with some of those old sellers too about like, hey, you remember this stack? I think Havinga is probably the most famous one with his picture of like claws, where he had like 100 claws, it's all in a stack, and he had to fight tooth and nail to sell
Hmm.
all of those. Um, because and that's the other thing, like Colton, like when you mentioned like you're new to collecting, you wish you used to play back then, but your perception of normal back then was different.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the stories I hear from all of like the people that were playing before COVID was like, oh man, I used to have this disc, I used to have that disc. Oh, I could have been like so flush, but the way that it was back then, you tried them and then you move them on, and you were more curious about finding the good disc, not a collecting disc. Like I said, Lone White ones you couldn't give away, but then all of a sudden it hit this collectible desirable or desirability, and Lone Hell ones just took off, and then people started throwing it in. And then it's like, okay, this is why it's kind of good. But when it first came out, it wasn't the PD for everybody because it was too straight, or it was too beefy for the noodle arm. So it had this like little weird niche where if you wanted a straight PD, you had access to better runs than them. And if you wanted an overstable one, that's why the 13th run was, so people were liking PDs for different reasons back then. And it took that growing, and it took more people throwing it to really like find out that it was actually a solid disc after you beat it in a little bit.
Hmm.
But back then, if you were a collector, then you're collecting niche discs, you're collecting things that you like. You had those people that sit on, like I always talk about the old Innova heads, where they start collecting at 20, and whatever disc they liked, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was, a specific run of destroyer or not. They were going to have 20 of that destroyer. They were going to have 20 gators, because they liked that run, and it was a good throwing disc for them. They just happened to like take off and be a collectible and desirable after that, because there's also people sitting on like, and you see it in the marketplace like, oh hey guys, I have 30 of this disc, who wants to buy it? And ghost, because it wasn't good, a good run of them.
Yeah, yeah, and another tip, Colton, would be to find those smaller like Facebook groups who are like dedicated to disc golf. Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the people who are the big collectors are kind of sticking in those smaller groups. You probably find stuff you're looking for there. Little pro tip.
They're very
Well, I think Colton,
specialized.
you're doing
Like
a
you
good
have
job of
like
getting to know people.
yeah,
Sorry,
Yeah.
Cody, I cut you off.
yeah, it's okay. I'm used to it. Like
Well,
this, but you have like the Sexton group. You have like the old
Mhm.
ESP Flex Buzz group. Like you have that niche group, and a lot of
Mhm.
times you will get people that are like they have so many of them they will just either move them or they will pass them out. I mean, I've seen. I'm not saying they don't sell them for crazy numbers too, because like think of like the K2 Berg that sold for like $3,300.
Mhm.
But like the Castapass group, you're normally find some pretty decent deals. Or if you
Mhm.
find like the Oasis, you
Mhm.
have people with thought space on there. So
I also will say, like,
that's a good idea.
getting to know like people is a good way to start. I think Colton's the only person I ever really saw that do deep dives. And he'd reach out like, "Hey Paige, do you still got this disc? You posted it 4 years ago." And it's like, no, I don't have that disc anymore. That's 4 years ago. Half the time when I would flex something, somebody would hit me up with the offer I couldn't say no to. But you do those deep dives, you get to know people, you start to talk discs, and then they're more likely to let things go when you do it the correct way. There's also people that I don't think
Wait, is
necessarily
that the
do.
Colt that inks disc?
I think that's Colton, right? That's
No
only Colton.
way. That's the only Colton I know. Is that Colton that inks all his discs? Because if so, take your money back, you
He's the I
savage.
mean he has a Fortnite logo and Colton's a
You
youngster, so
savage.
I can see him having like, 499 tips, big ballin'. It's like this is a skin.
Did we just get $49? Did we just get $49?
Get the M&M package.
Oh
I don't
man.
even. I've seen a banana. My son plays.
I see
But
banana every
but
morning.
like you're
Oh,
saying, Paige,
come
is
on.
like getting into conversations with people, meet new people, and dive into their DMs. And that's definitely going to get you more conversations to find out what's in their collection or who might have it. And I've found this based on leads from other people. Like, hey, talk to this person and see if they have one to let go of. And it's like it's led me to a lot of discs. Now we got a $9.99 one. What's going on, Colton? See, I've been buying so much recently. I'm kind of surprised at some of the things I've been able to get off certain people. And yes, this is Colton that inks his discs.
And
Oh,
you'll find like the more embedded you are,
Monster.
and to this comment, the more embedded you are in the community, it's not that anybody's so willingly to give up their discs. I think collectors just have a really fun enjoyment of sharing that hunt and that process and that camaraderie through that, um, and that they don't necessarily want to give it up. They wouldn't give it up to just anybody, but the fact that they've seen you like struggle with this hunt, they're more likely to give it up.
yeah.
I think that's where like whenever I come off a disc I don't want to come off of, it's like, okay, one, you made me offer, like your offer is more than I want it, so I'll take your offer because you clearly want it more than me. Congratulations, you won, you unlocked this disc, have fun throwing it. But when it comes to it, like, somebody was like, oh, I want this disc from Simon's bag, whatever, and so I have my hook, and they're like, how much? And I was like, $300. And they just laughed at me. I was like, that's fine, because I don't want to give it to you for any less, because I don't want to come off this disc, because I do love
Mhm.
this disc. It's Hulk swirls, it's gold. It was actually in Simon's in the bag video. So I'm not going to give it up for any less than that, because I actually want to keep it. Same thing with like I have a 1 of 5 AVR misprint second run FDs. Like I have a buddy who wants it, but I'm just like, I paid this, I had to pay the Chad price for it, so you're gonna have to match that, or I'm going to keep it because I paid it, and I'm gladly going to keep it because I love this disc.
Here's the thing with that. If someone asks me for a discount, I will never give you anything. If someone is just like a legit human being, I'll give you stuff. Like I love surprising people, but when people are like, "Yo, we homies, hook me up," like I don't do that to Josh or Chat or Josh or Paige. That's ridiculous. So
But that's the thing too. That's because that's not mutual, right? Like
yeah, it's
I mentioned,
mutual.
I mentioned like John Cora earlier. He's somebody that the moment I go to Florida, I'm going to hit him up and talk with him. So it transcends just the disc golf collecting market, but also like we're both CD2 people. We both have been at the top of the collecting game for CD2s for a long while now, and so it's like I know I can ask him for something and he'll hook me up, and vice versa. But there's also that trade off of being like, hey, you hooked me up today, but also I'm going to give you above market price this time because I know you don't want to come off of it, and it's
Mhm.
finding that kind of like give and take with it all. And some of these relationships like started like 3 or 4 years ago. Or I guess it's 20, I forget, it's like almost 2024 now. So this has started 6 years ago at this point for some of these relationships. Like there's some groups that I'm not a part of anymore, but because I had those relationships in there and people now don't know who I am, but I can be like, oh, hey, so and so, I haven't talked to you for like 4 years. Do you still have this? You're a Hulk collector. Do you have this green and purple disc? And they might be more likely to to sell it to me because of that past connection.
Are
Well,
there
that was like,
people who just
yeah,
collect Hulk colors?
Yeah,
Page.
Wow.
Well, that
Wow.
was like when I met some loungers, like when I went and played with like the guys in Virginia Beach and stuff like that. Like I brought disc with me because I was like, dude, I know you from online. I just want to like, I want to hang out and like I want to give you these things. It's not like I'm gonna charge you this. It was just like that mutual, like we've been friends for this long. Like I was excited to give you something. Like, and then Mike Fortner from the lounge sent me this, like I've never had a Dylan Joe. And he was like, dude, you throw Aztecs, right? And he just sent this in the mail to me. Like,
I
dude, that's
sent
just awesome.
3 DJR third run PDs to John Lewis because I know he was like he was close with him. I mean, we both were, but it's like, oh yeah, this is going to mean more to you. Not only do you collect third run PDs, but you know, you enjoy that guy quite a bit. So was able to send him those ones, and they were all stamped with this DJR stamp. Like those little things, like and you pick up on, and getting to
Mhm.
know people with that. Because if you don't know that connection, you're not going to get it. And the fact
That,
that
yeah.
yeah,
That's the stuff
sorry,
that transcends the market for me, where it's not about like the money, it's about that relationship you're building. And then like, I would love to meet up and like do some stuff with you. I would rather give that disc to you that I know you're going to enjoy and throw than sell it for
Mhm.
profit to someone else. Cause I know like, hey, that means more to you. You're going to throw it. And what in the end game, I'm going to be out 15, 20, $30.
but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
that's
like, I mean, Cody, we've never met, but like somebody asked me the other day, how'd you meet Cody? I was like, I met him through these groups. He reached out to me. We started talking. We got to know each other. And now we're doing a podcast, and we've never met in person.
can't get rid of each other. It's
But then
terrible.
the Nazman down in Santa Cruz, I do yearly trips. Yes, I love the disc golf there, but just to see that guy. So it's like for the last 4 years, I've spent like multiple weeks with him, crashing on his pad, and better believe because I know he's a collector. One of
The
my
ghost
favorite things
stamp
to do.
collector.
He's a ghost stamp collector, but one of my favorite things to do is like, what disc package can I assemble in this year? So when I show up to his doorstep and he tells me I don't need to pay anything, and I unload these discs onto him, that just absolutely blows his mind. And I've done that like every year because it's just the funnest thing, and it's not about the losing money. It's that this guy's going to enjoy this. Like I don't know, I just get
But
excited.
see,
That's the whole
that's the thing.
Christmas.
That's the thing. It's not a loss. You're not losing money. That's it. You are. That's an experience. I don't feel like I'm losing money if I go to the movie theaters because that's an experience for me. That's an
Yeah,
experience for you. That's something you're investing in. I don't feel like I'm losing money to pay for my kids' basketball or gymnastics. I feel like that's something I enjoy and I would love to do that. So like when I'm sending discs to people, or if you're going to somewhere like I was excited to give these discs away, just like I'm sure all these people are like excited to give discs away as well. Like
yeah.
something about that feels better than like I made an extra $20 off you. Like that
and I
just
will
feels
say
good.
to Colton's new comment. So he says, and the fact that I've only collected for a year, but I feel embedded in the community. Y'all very welcoming to me over this year. That's like a great feeling. But also know, like, too, that's a thin line because there's a lot of people. Like, I think the collecting community is very friendly and opening. It's like, hey, get in here. We're all doing this together. Let's have some fun. But it's also like the moment you do something shady, like, hey, I hooked you up with a $40 disc, and then literally you get it, and the next day you flip it for 80. Then it's like
You're
burned,
dead to
forever
me.
burned.
You're dead
And
to me.
also know, like, all the collectors, like one of the reasons when we envisioned the lounge and designing it was like, hey, all these amazing conversations are going in DMs. One of the things that I thought about was like, this would be cool to have a place that we can have it in the open. That got taken advantage of by a lot of people, and because it got taken advantage of, that's where that lounge discount comes in. um like
Lounge discount.
it forces all back to our inboxes. We all fucking talk. When Cody has a bad experience with somebody who's like, hey, this fucking guy just burnt me, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm not
Mm,
gonna hook this guy up. um
he can
like
suck a
that, those are
fart.
things that are very real. So it's like we're very welcoming, but we're also very gossipy and very like, you burn me once, you're done, kind of mentality. So the fact that you've been able to be embedded for a year, being as maybe kind of pushy as you can get, is great because you also haven't really burnt a lot of people like doing
He
some of that
loves them
stuff.
team stamps. He loves them. And then he puts ink all over them.
And
Just
then
a
he just ruins
monster.
it.
He's just a
That's
savage.
ruined.
You're just a
It's
Ruined.
like,
monster.
let's just write this freaking name right here.
But you know
Oh,
what? I guess at the end of the day, he's going out there and throwing those like $100, $200 disc, and
that's what we can do.
He's got more guts than I
Here you
do,
go,
I
Cody.
guess. No, don't you dare.
This is for you,
Oh
Cody.
my gosh.
Speaking of which, I got this from Lounger, a buddy that I met here. We were talking about it.
What is it?
Jamie Lee Moore. It's a stamp. It's Hulk. Ah!
Oh my gosh. See, karma, you terrible.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Jamie Lee, I gotta send him some. He's a good dude.
Jamie is the freaking man. I love that kid. Too much.
What does he throw? Paige, tell me. I'm gonna send him something.
He throws at Ursus because he's sponsored by Terminal Velocity.
Never heard of him.
He's sponsored by us.
He loses Raptors a lot.
He loses Raptors a lot. Like,
so then maybe he should stop throwing Raptors and like throw something else.
Maybe he just quit throwing over water.
Or just like at all.
He's also Emperor. He really likes to bomb Emperors.
All right.
Yeah, but
all right. Well, we're past that top of the hour. What do you guys?
Top of the hour to you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we got one more. We got one last one. Go for it.
Respect the stamp.
Respect the stamp.
So, because we're running a little bit late, we won't go to closing thoughts. We'll transition to this. Thank you guys for tuning in this week.
We don't even get to do closing thoughts.
That's why I just said we're over the time, Cody.
Well, yeah, just spend 2 minutes with closing thoughts.
Okay,
you can have our time, Cody. Go for it.
The worst. That's it.
Front and center, Cody. Bring Josh. Bring him front and center.
No, I don't want to be.
Let's hear your closing thought.
Merry Christmas.
No.
Relationships. That is my closing.
He just freezes at the wrong time.
Am I frozen?
No, not anymore.
You were though.
It's about those relationships, people. Don't be in it for the wrong reasons. Think about the relationships. And who knows, you might be doing a podcast with two people you've never met in your life. That's where it comes from.
I've met Josh.
I said that I've never met. I've never met you either.
No, you said that you've never met. You didn't say I. You said you, as in talking to everybody else. Like, no, I've met.
You're talking in third person about himself.
Thank you. See, Josh. Thank you. Josh has got my back.
Make sure that the relationship is also consensual.
Oh gosh.
So with that, guys, I want to thank you all for tuning in this week. I know we got a little bit off topic a couple times, but that's the fun nature of Jammers in the Rough.
Is our podcast ever on topic?
We do want to thank our sponsor, Rare Air Discs, for all of the rarest of air of discs. Go check them out and use code Jammers in the Rough for 10% off. So with that, thank you for the tips. This is kind of Colton. I want to give a huge shout out to Colton. Like, I mean, you just bought a disc tonight with the amount of tips you did. So Cody will send you something. So with that, guys, keep jamming it in the rough. We out this bee.